Thank you very much. So, we are having a rerun of the elections as directed by the Appeals Board of the SRC. And in October last year, we held elections, but uh, upon a ruling by the Appeals Board, we are supposed to rerun it again. So that's what we have been trying to do this month of January. So we have gone through a series of processes and by drawing students' attentions and also helping them to get the various tools they need in order to participate in the elections. So currently we've opened a link for people to register in order to make the voters register for the elections. Then we've also slated 18th January for the elections to take place. So those are the things that we have been doing so far. And I think so far we've gotten a good number of responses from the student populace, and I think so far so good. That's how I think.
Okay. So how has the preparation towards the re-election been? And also, were you surprised of something like a re-election? How are the students responding to it, or your various stakeholders, how are they responding to it?
I think it came as a surprise when we were directed to do a re-election, but we've taken it and we've worked around it, and I believe most students were surprised by that verdict. But we've tried as much as possible to ensure that the processes we go through are as open as possible to students and to enable them engage more in it. So currently that is what we've been doing. And I must say that the process has been a little bit hectic because we started this whilst we were about, I think for most students, they have been home for a lot, but UHAS members have been working from November till now. So even during the Christmas holidays, we've been working in trying to see the best way we can to ensure a smooth and credible election. Thank you.
Okay, so what if the outcome of the re-election is opposite of the previous one? What do you think? Will the candidates accept it? And what are some of the things you've put in place after the first election?
I can't speak much to it.
Pardon?
I can't speak much to that because I'm not a candidate, and I think candidates are supposed to make decisions for their own. So they know what decision they'll take after the outcome of the election. So for now, I'll say I'm encouraging all candidates to campaign and sell themselves out there in order to win the elections. Thank you.
Okay, and also we realize that the management is now monitoring the process. Can you briefly tell us how it's going to be, how different it's going to be from the first one we had?
Okay, so for this one we are, I would say, although the UHAS SRC is the one doing everything, management is just playing a supervisory role to ensure that issues probably that are raised by people will not come up again. So for now, I'll say management is playing a supervisory role, just trying to ensure that they put in measures so that we can be able to have smooth elections. So I won't say management has taken over the process. Is that they are trying to ensure that issues that might arise are de-escalated quickly, so that we're able to do with them as soon as possible before they become court issues again. So that's what I might say management is involved in.
Okay, so do you think SRC should get to the point where management has to, as in, supervise also? Because we feel like SRC should be an independent body that students can should be able to run things or do things on their own. So do you think we've gotten to the point where management has to get involved with everything we do or our own dealings?
Okay, so I think it must be disappointing that management had to come in, and I believe as young adults, as young people, and as young leaders growing up, I think it's always in our best interest to prove our mettle by ensuring that roles that are given to us, we play them to the best of our ability, and also we believe in the systems that have been put in place. So for me, I think it doesn't augur well for the future of UHAS SRC that management has come in to do some of the things for us, and I feel it's been a very difficult. It creates a very difficult atmosphere for students' leadership to work effectively because they are now being monitored. They are now being. It's like everything now is being watched closely by management. And I feel it is not the best. So, going forward, and I think maybe we just need to act in good faith to ensure that we prove ourselves so that management doesn't come into it. I think these issues arise as a result of how management view things. I think if over the years we've not had issues and our SRC has been so strong, I think it's very difficult for management to come in to say they agree with that. I believe sometimes these things come as a result of precedents and other things that have happened. So that's why management needs to step in. So I believe as students, we need to believe in whatever we have set out to do and be able to achieve them. I think that will ensure that we as student body have hope in ourselves and be able to take care of our own affairs. So that's what I think.
Okay, so going forward, what are some of the plans? What are some of the things the EC is putting in place, or some of the measures you've put in place to prevent things like this from happening in the coming years?
Hello, please. I can't hear you.
I'm saying that going forward, what are some of the measures that the EC has put in place or is putting in place to prevent things like this from happening again?
Okay, so one of the things we are looking at advocating is creating a portal or system where people don't come and change. So we don't go outside looking for developers to vote. So maybe how school fees and other components of our student portal are. One thing the ACE is looking at is mounting elections, student elections, as part of a component, so that our cost is reduced. So that further going on later in the years, the EC owns whatever it is doing, so that whatever it's running, it's owned by the EC and not maybe outside developers trying to run. And also probably what the EC will advocate is appointment of members early, so that when an administration comes, they appoint members and not getting to elections. When they now appoint members, it becomes tedious trying to go about duties because it becomes a lot of pressure. You don't have peace of mind to go to plan out your activities, and there's so much pressure on you to carry out a lot within a few times. So, and as ECS, what we are trying to also do is we are trying to create a database for students so that every other EC that comes up builds on it. So that from henceforth we are creating something that when another EC comes, we don't start from scratch. We're able to absorb more students on it so that we get something that is a continuum and not maybe every year a new EC comes in. That's a different thing. So that is what we are looking at ensuring. And also get more legal. As a health school, there are certain things we do we think is the right thing, but legally it might not. So maybe looking at more legal experience in the EC so that it helps build the operations of the EC. So there are some of the things that we are trying to put in place to ensure that some of these things don't happen in the future.
Okay, thank you very much for